Imagine someone telling you they believe the Bible, but then you notice something. They don't follow most of its rules. They eat foods that were once forbidden. They don't follow ancient rituals. They don't observe many of the laws found in the Old Testament. So it raises a fair question. Why not? If the Bible contains these laws, why don't Christians follow them today? To understand this, you have to go back to what those laws were. In the Old Testament, especially in books like Leviticus and Deuteronomy, God gave his people a detailed set of laws. These included moral laws, ceremonial laws, and civil laws. They shaped how people lived, worshiped, and related to God. But those laws were given to a specific people, at a specific time, for a specific purpose. They were part of a covenant between God and Israel. Then something changed. Jesus came, and instead of adding more rules, he fulfilled what those laws were pointing toward. In Matthew chapter 5, verse 17, Jesus says, "I have not come to abolish the law, but to fulfill it." That word fulfill is important. It means bringing something to its completion, like finishing a process or completing a promise. So the question is no longer, are we under those same laws? The question becomes, what was their purpose and what has now been completed? The New Testament explains this further. In Galatians chapter 3, verses 24 and 25, the law is described as a guide, a teacher that led people to Christ. But once that purpose is fulfilled, the role of the law changes. That's why Christians believe they are no longer bound by many of the Old Testament laws, especially the ceremonial and dietary ones. But that doesn't mean everything was discarded. The moral principles behind the law still matter. Things like honesty, justice, and love. In fact, Jesus simplifies it in a powerful way. In Matthew chapter 22, verses 37 through 40, he says, "Love God and love your neighbor." And then he says something remarkable. All the law and the prophets hang on these two commands. In other words, the heart of the law was never just about rules. It was about relationship. So when people ask, why don't Christians follow the Old Testament laws? The answer is not that they were ignored. It's that they were fulfilled. And what remains is what they were pointing to all along, not just obedience to rules, but a life shaped by love.